Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is once again going to address something to do with the English language, the confusion of it. Whilst it is like pretty much an international language and the most spoken language around the world, most abundantly in United Kingdom, United States, Canada, Australia, and several other regions. Whilst in average there are around 400 million native speakers and around 300 million, speakers who use it as a second language, there have been several changes over time. Many of the words we use are taken from Latin and French. And the problem which I want to address is the confusing rules over it. The rules of the language are not at all straightforward, and like there is no specific rule with certain words. Even words with the same spelling and a different letter, they're just pronounced a different way. So, I'm not going to come up with my own examples for this. I'm going to show you some examples, some of the online memes about it, and I'm going to explain it. I'm going to, comment on it. Let's introduce it. This introduces it perfectly. English can be weird. It can be understood through tough, thorough, thought, though. But think about it. All those words end with O-U-G-H. They all end with G-H, but they're just pronounced in a different way. How is one to figure out? How is one who's completely unfamiliar with the language to learn this? How are they going to learn the rules for individual words? How will they know in what way is the correct way to pronounce this? Tell me. Through. Tough, thorough, thought, though. Okay. I'm not going to go through all of them shown, but I'll go through the best ones. Okay, next one. If womb is pronounced womb and tomb is pronounced tomb. Okay, I said them, like T-O-M-B is pronounced tomb. Why isn't bomb pronounced boom? Exactly. So what rule is there? Okay, so there's several words which start with an individual letter and end with OMB. How are we to know whether it is or omb? Okay, this one is a top hit. This one is top, trust me. Look at this. In many languages, the translation for pineapple is ananas. The main language which I've heard it from is French, okay. In some languages not exactly the same, it's slightly different, but it's ananas, it's pronounced, or it could end with something slightly different. But look, English stands out here. It's the only language where it is just pineapple. Look, everything else is ananas. English, pineapple. And where did that originate from? Beats me. Next one. Why don't all these words rhyme? They all end with O-U-G-H. Shouldn't they rhyme? Cough, rough, though, through. Okay, these two stand out. These are the odd ones out. Next one. The word is queue. Queue, is like a line, when you're waiting in a line for something. But look at it. The main purpose here is the spelling and not the meaning. The individual letter is pronounced Q. That letter is called Q, and many of you should know this. Especially if you're a native English speaker. But look, if the pronunciation is just Q and only the first letter is used, what's the point? What's the purpose of the last four letters? And why okay, at least the Q, U, E would be fine, but why that twice? Beats me. Okay, so another really weird thing about it is the repetition of words. When you're constructing words, because of the fact that some words which are spelled the same have different meanings or are pronounced differently. I am not content with this content. I object to that object. I need to read what I read again. Okay, I'm used to this, so I'm able to figure this out. But what about new people? Excuse me, but there's no excuse for this. Someone should wind the post up and throw it in the wind. I hope you don't mind, but you just fucked with my mind. Okay. It is familiar. People do write like this sometimes. But all I'm saying here is it's just weird. Any other language doesn't have a rule like that. They have fixed rules. They have fixed rules where the one rule applies all the time. Okay, here's another one. One could be gender neutral and say house spouse instead of housewife or house husband. Thing is though, English, they usually classify everything in just different meanings. Like, words still exist, but they just continue to narrow them down to simplify this. And sometimes people should simplify their lives and use the simplest word possible. But I don't even know why the others exist in the first place. Okay guys, now over here, you have to watch out with punctuation. Punctuation is also a significant key when forming your sentences, because if the punctuation isn't placed at the correct point, the whole meaning changes. And this may be like that with few other languages, but think of it. It's very sensitive here. Be careful with punctuation, and I'll show you. Main quotation mark used is comma. So if you use the comma, it's I had eggs, toast, and orange juice. Okay. So we have an egg, a toast, and an orange juice. That's because we put the comma. The comma is there to divide things. You can use semicolon or comma, and they both divide different terms. They'll make it seem like something different. But let's say you didn't put the comma after toast. I had eggs, toast, and orange juice. So basically this becomes a whole thing. It's not split up. And that's why if people listen to this or they see you've written this, that's how they'll picture it. Egg and toast with orange juice on top of it, and that's awkward. No one likes to do that. I mean, it wouldn't be that good eating toast with orange juice over it, and I don't think that's even practically possible. I don't think anyone's tried this shit out. Oh, a hilarious one I found. If GH can stand for P, or OUH can stand for OK. If these are the rules, then the correct way you could spell potato could be that. Okay, I'm not going to bother trying to depict the whole word and pronounce it. You try it yourself if you like. Oh yeah, this spells potato. And that's the way you could... Okay, this is too hilarious. I don't know how I came to this. This one is more of a meaning overlap. Sometimes the meaning of a specific word can be confusing. Sometimes when it's written in a way, we can see it differently. For example, like exactly, why is it called taking a shower? Like, when we have a bath, for example, like, when you go for a bath, we say taking a shower, taking a bath. But think about it, take actually means to take something, like to actually, so why do we take showers? Does that mean that we give them as well? And where do we take them? Do we leave them after we take them someplace? Exactly. Okay guys, as you know, those were just memes and those were just examples, which you should not actually take too seriously, because if you're familiar with the language, I don't think you need to worry about all this. This would be a worry if you're a beginner, but honestly, I just wanted to do this video for fun, to comment on all of that, to, give my reaction. And even I myself have learned this language through all the past few years of my life. How did I become familiar with it? I forgot. I actually forgot how I familiarized myself with it, like many others in today's world, completely. And nowadays, surprisingly, that weird language which I just proved to you has become what we use in our everyday life to communicate with different people, Like when we study, all our education, all takes place in the English language. But the whole point is, if other languages have simple rules and they're a lot simpler, like, the rules, for example, especially with the spelling of words, there's a few letters in the alphabet and basically it applies to every single word. But here it is different. Here, different letters, they might have different pronunciations. One word can have different meanings. It just doesn't really make sense. And this does suck. It does suck to people who are struggling to learn this. But exactly, why do they have to bother making it something so complicated? What do they want to do? Do they want to torture us? I don't think so. But guys, you get the point. This video was just a reaction to my opinion about this. I've been reading about this a lot of times. I've been searching this up and this has become a hot topic. This is actually not hot topic generally, but for me especially. Especially when I search about the language, that's the top thing I find. And I'm really surprised. But guys, there you have it. I hope this video was pretty cool and I hope it was cool seeing me react to everything. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.